After applying for over 324 jobs, getting 11 interviews and 0 job acceptance letters back, I'm convinced I'm going to be homeless in a year. And the worst part is I am over $120,000 in debt because society says you're supposed to get a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. Well, I got both, and I have fucking nothing. Do you know how embarrassing it is to go back to the same job you used to work at in high school 6 years later in life? It's embarrassing. The same manager, the same 40 and 50-year-olds that used to work there are still there, and now I'm fucking going back. Please tell me, what are you doing to make money in this economy? What side hustles, what jobs are you applying for? What are you doing to scrape by? Because the only reason I'm able to even pay my rent each month is because of the ClaimWise app. Your boy needs some help.
Like, being in your 20s now, we are so different from the 20s that our parents were experiencing and our grandparents because, you know, the economy and things are so different. And I was saying how it's because they had way more capital. They could do a lot more with $40,000 a year. Whereas, like, now $40,000 a year, girl, where are you living? You're living in a shoebox. And I think, like, a prime example of this, obviously, there's so many people who experience this, is, like, I have a master's degree. A master's degree, I got it at 22. And I can't use it because the jobs that are set for this master's degree are being defunded. Public health care. Big shock. I wonder why that's being defunded. What's ironic about it is, like, education is used as this tool to gain more capital, to move up socially and economically and in class, right? In the past, it has been, you know, if you get a PhD, a master's, and a college degree, you are typically at a standing point that's better than someone who's not in those education brackets, right? Whereas, like, now they're blockading education because everything costs so much money. You have crippling student loan debt, and then you can't get a job to pay off that student loan debt. And so I think it's more than just, oh, your parents had more capital. Your parents were able to do a lot with a college degree. It's even the degrees you have now are not useless. I'm not going to say don't get your education. I don't regret getting my master's. But they don't even offer or create spaces for that because everything is like, oh, well, I want 70 hours of experience in this specific thing. Meanwhile, okay, but I did my master's degree and I have 100 plus, God knows 200 plus hours within this realm, but you don't take that because it's not work experience because I was getting an education and I wasn't working. Does that make sense?
And if you ain't been unemployed in the last 4 to 5 years, shut up. From the bottom of my heart, shut up. You don't know how it is out here. I seen people with master's degrees get humbled. I seen people with 10 plus years experience get humbled. I seen folks who been from making $100,000 to selling for a $40,000 a year job because they got humbled in this job market. If you ain't been job hunting in the last 4 to 5 years, shut up. Telling these folks they ain't trying hard enough. You ain't even applied to a ghost job yet. Let me inform you, there are companies posting tons and tons and tons of positions and not even hiring. You don't know what your grandson going through. Shut up. Ain't nobody listening to you. Shut up.
I just want to spend money. I just really want to spend so much money on beautiful, wonderful, magical things. Like high-heeled boots and crocodile bags. Not real, of course, but...
The minimum wage in America would need to be $66 an hour to have the same buying power that the dollar had back in the 80s. You're lucky if you could go on Indeed anymore and find a job that offers more than $18 to $19 an hour. People are out here kicking into the towel, not seeing the point in doing this anymore because they realize that there's no point and they've been scammed out of their life, and they realize that their time is more valuable than money. Some of us don't want to wait until retirement age, until our bodies and our spirits are too old and broken down to even enjoy life, just to look back and see all we did the last 45 years of our lives was clocked in and went to work. Money isn't even everything anymore, yet they have all of us brainwashed into believing chasing that next dollar is more important than caring for each other. You're out here spending your entire life trying to make money that you can't even keep because after you pay all your bills and shit, it's all gone. And once you realize all of this is a scam, that's when the true freedom comes in.
In case you don't realize just how bad the economy is, no one is buying anything anymore. Oh wait, sorry, not no one. Actually, half of all consumer spending for the first time in history is just the top 10% of American households. You know what that means? Our economy is literally held up by wealthy people because they are the only people who can afford to buy shit. And by the way, this doesn't mean that wealthy people are so amazing because they're helping our economy grow. No. Do not get me started on the ultra wealthy motherfuckers, because get this, since the 1980s, billionaires' wealth has grown by 4,500%, while wages only grew by 15%. And while workers' wages only grew 15%, rent went up 400%, college tuition went up 1,200%, groceries went up 300%. So who's benefiting here? And here's the hint, it's probably not your ass, it's probably not your family, it's probably not your friends, so why are you defending them? So, I think I'll be a billionaire one day. Is that what you say to yourself? Get the fuck out of here, man. At this point, people are just trying to figure out how to stay afloat in an economy like this, which is why you're seeing so many people looking for ways to make money outside of normal jobs. And it's fucked up, man. The only thing I've been noticing lately is people doing these UGC gigs for brands, basically just making short form videos of apps and products that companies use for advertisements. A lot of those opportunities are getting posted on this one platform called SideShift. So people have just been applying to these, stacking a few different gigs together, and that's just to keep afloat with how expensive everything's fucking getting. In 2026, we are printing influencers just so motherfuckers can buy eggs.
I think it's time to admit the society is officially in the depths of hell when I see that a master's degree is somehow required for all these entry-level jobs. I keep seeing on LinkedIn and Indeed and Glassdoor and whatever, okay? Like, it will literally say, like, 5 years of experience required. Like, sometimes it won't even let you apply if you don't have all this experience. Yet it says entry level and it's paying $15 an hour or less in certain areas. Like, that's a joke. Okay, first of all, everybody knows that to survive these days, you have to make like 20 an hour at least or more, okay? Unless you somehow live in some like buttfuck nowhere area of North Carolina. If so, good for you, okay? But most of us cannot be surviving on that. Personally, I like to use Sprout because it's like a really niche job board and you can literally just like swipe to apply. You can filter it by like how much you make a year, like whatever. But other than that, like, I'm honestly not sure how people are even landing a lot of entry level positions because it always ends up going to the niece of the CEO and not anybody else. So,
well, I had an eye-opening experience with my son this weekend. So my son graduated from college 6 months ago. And when he graduated, he was going to move back in with us so that he could find a job here in this local area and save up enough money to move out on his own. Had no problem with that. So it's been about 6 months. He has saved almost every single dime. He works a 40-hour-a-week job, makes $40,000 a year, which back in my day was sustainable to be able to live. Apparently that's not the case anymore. You can't like live on $40,000, which makes no sense to me. So we were looking online at Zillow, Google to find apartments and houses within his budget, a house to rent because he has a dog. So we said, let's write them all down and let's go check them out because pictures don't tell you what's really going on, y'all. So we drove around to some of these and I can't even tell you, some of them I didn't even feel comfortable driving down the street. They were in really, really shady parts of town, looked like a war zone. The whole house looked like it was off kilter. A lot of work to be, like, it just looked like it should be uninhabitable. Like, don't rent this. It should just be tore down, right? And then when we went to apartments, these apartments that were within his price range, and when I say price range, they were still going for like $800 a month. These $800 a month apartments, I didn't feel comfortable with him living in these apartments. Like, when I say those two look like they should have just been torn the hell down, they should have been. The only ones that are decent, like, he found a studio apartment that's in a nice neighborhood, $1,400 for 485 square feet. That is more than my mortgage, right? And then regular apartments, not even like glamorous apartments, just one bedroom apartment that has normal square footage is anywhere from $1,300 to $1,700. We live in Montgomery, Alabama. We're not in a big metropolitan area. I don't understand how the housing market has gotten so donkey. Okay. And everybody says, well, then he should just buy a house since it's cheaper, mortgage is less than rent. Well, nobody will give him a mortgage loan because he has no credit. Not that he has bad credit. He has no credit. He didn't want to get into debt. So he doesn't have any credit to show for it. So it's like a lose-lose situation. I don't know how they're living. I don't know if he can move out right now because I personally don't feel comfortable with the places he can afford moving to, and he can't afford the normal standard shit that I would have afforded back when. How are people doing this, and how do we expect our young kids, or, I mean, he's not young, he's 25, but how do we expect our youth to get ahead? I mean, really.
I just got rejected from a retail job because I don't have any recent retail experience. I have an engineering degree, I have a master's degree. I just find this so amusing because I have put so much of my focus on internships, teaching assistant jobs, freelance projects. But the job market and breaking into tech is so impossible right now that I'm resorting to retail. But since I haven't worked in that field in so long, that now my skills are outdated again.
I just got back from a job interview where I had to turn down the job offer ultimately because of the wage and the lack of benefits. So this job was a position at a multi-billion, with a B, billion-dollar immunological research, like pharmaceutical company. And it would be on the research and development team, the R&D team. They were looking for someone with a master's degree and 2 to 4 years experience in the field, or someone with a bachelor's degree and 8 to 10 years of experience in the related field, which is where I am. So it was going great, and they ultimately did end up offering me the position about halfway through the interview, and I was like, that's great, I do have some more questions though. And they're like, okay, cool, ask away. And I was asking about like the wages and like the benefits and like this stuff, and their faces went white, and I was like, great. Hit me with it. What is it? It's $18 an hour. $18 an hour, full time. So that comes out to salary, for people thinking salary rise. That's about $37,000 a year, $37,000 to $38,000 a year ish. No PTO, none, 0 PTO. So it's only the hours you work, even though it is a full-time position at their company. And on top of that, there is no sick leave because our state doesn't have mandated sick time. So there is no sick time. There is nothing. No PTO, no nothing. Hours worked is hours paid. That's fine. I get it. Jobs are like that. But this is a full-time job at a multi-billion-dollar company. And so my next question was like, okay, cool, whatever. Next question is health insurance. What are the benefits there? If you guys don't have PTO, hopefully you guys got health insurance. They said, we don't have health insurance. I said, amazing. Not like that. But of course I was like, okay, so you don't have health insurance. Do you have dental or eye? They said, no, we don't have any of those. And so at that point I was like, okay, I appreciate your time, and it was a great opportunity to interview here, but I cannot afford to live on $18 an hour where I have to pay for my own health insurance and benefits. So yeah.
Okay, let me start by saying this is not a political post. This is a post about how we as Americans overspend, and specifically on groceries. So obviously there's a lot of talk about food stamps and what that's going to look like for the country. And I do know that there are a lot of people that does affect, and I'm thinking about those people. I have a lot of my own thoughts. They're all over the place about everything in our world right now, but that's neither here nor there. This is about overspending, and I'm a prime example of being a person who overspent. So I used to spend $1,800 a month on groceries for a family of 3, and we would still go out to eat 2 to 3 times a week. And at the end of every week, I would throw away food because we had no plan. When we bought our new house, one of the things that we had to do was come up with a way to save money. So I cut our grocery costs from $1,800 a month to around $600 to $700 a month for a family of 3 who eats at home, breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. We don't go out to eat anymore unless we're going out for a very special occasion, and if we do, I alter our week for that. But the way that I've been able to do that is by having a plan. So if you're someone who has very little money to spend on groceries, if you want to maximize it, you have to prepare before you do your grocery shopping. First things first, if you can do delivery or pickup is free. If you can do pickup, do that, because when you go into the store, it triggers something in your frontal lobe that makes you want to buy things that you do not need. That's the whole point of grocery stores and why they exist, is so that people will overspend. Don't do it. Don't go into the store. You're going to do all your shopping on your phone. Okay? That's the first thing. Knowing that, you got to have a plan. You have to sit down and write down a menu for the week. And I'm talking breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You have to be very detailed. And yes, it is work, but if you want to cut costs and save money, you have to put in the work. Preparation is the key to success, period. So you write out your menu, breakfast, lunch, dinner, then boom, you write out your grocery list from there. which I don't write it out anymore, my grocery list, because I just do it on the app. But after you have your list, you're going to go through and put everything on your list, and you're only going to buy what you need for your menu items, period. No more, no less. That is it. No splurging. If you do have something that you want to make as a sweet treat, you need to budget that in as one of your meals, period. That's how you do it. And then what you do is you place your order, you go and you pick it up, you come home and you prepare it. You don't have to cook it all, but what I'm saying is you prepare it. In my cabinet, I have all the dry goods for this week's meals in one shelf. Then I have another shelf I have all of the snacks for the week, and it's exactly what we need. I know exactly how much she's going to pretty much want when she comes home from school. And yes, we do have a couple of little extra snacks, but those are in the budget. And then when it comes to the fridge, I have a snack drawer of our fruits, cheeses, all that sort of stuff. And then I also have all of our meats for the week, our veggies for the week. And it's all set out in the drawers per day, and I just grab it and I'm ready to go. The only way that I'm able to do that is because I put the work in. And yes, it takes me like an hour on Saturdays to figure it all out, and then it takes me an hour on Sundays to prepare and make sure that we're ready for the week. But the work is worth the savings. And so if you are in a pickle and you are looking to save money or whatever, I can tell you that preparation is the key to success. I've shared some videos on this, on how I do snacks and all those sorts of things. You can go back and look at my older videos, and maybe I'll come back to doing those again because they did get a lot of positive feedback. But preparation is the key to success. You do not have to overspend at the grocery store. I promise you, you can save money and you can survive whatever it is that you're going through. You just have to prepare and put in a little extra work.
What she's saying right now, I think like she has a very, very valid point. Like if you want to actually trying to reduce your overspending, you need to actually really sit down and look at your finance. Look at like go through your bank account and look at how much money are you actually really spending every month just on groceries alone. Because so many people would say, oh, I don't know how I'm spending this much, or I cannot afford to like save, or I cannot afford to invest, or I cannot afford to do anything else. But when you sit down and really look at your finance every month, you will find like, oh, I have like a Netflix subscription, or I have an Amazon Prime subscription, or I have this, I have that I don't really need, but you still have it, and you don't even know that you have those expenses, and you can cut them off. Absolutely, you can absolutely cut them off. But some people don't even know the expenses. They don't know. So what she's saying is absolutely valid. You sit down, you look at your bank account information for the last month, and then based on that, you will definitely see what you can cut off. And then you cut off those expenses, and then you will establish a plan like a week by week or every 2 other weeks, so that you're going to do all your purchases, like your your grocery shoppings, or maybe your clothes here and there. But like even clothes, like you already got clothes. It's not like, oh, every week you're going to buy clothes. For who? You already got some clothes, but like some people just like, oh, I see something in the store, so why not get this for my daughter or for my son? But like at the same times, those are overspending. There's a reason that we call it overspending. Like you already got clothes, and that's why some people at some point of time, they usually have to like turn those clothes back to the store, or they even gonna like trash it, or like I don't know, like give it away. You see what I'm saying? So many people, look at how many people give their clothes away every week, every month, every year. Look at it. You will see like people overspend. People spend more than they should have. They absolutely do. And if you want to change that, you have to look at your finance in very, very deep detail. That's exactly what you need to do. And people sleep on, for example, Aldi, the store Aldi. People sleep on it. People usually like, oh, I'm gonna go to Walmart, Food Lion here and there, but like all they got really, really cheap stuff. Don't sleep on it though. This is my point of view, and this is what I think basically.
You guys want to see another example of a man bringing concerns and stress to his woman and her just completely making fun of him for it? Here it is.
Say it one more time, babe. What happened?
I said I was at Walmart. No, I was at the gym, and I keep looking at my phone, and it's Amazon 152, Amazon 145, Amazon 25.99, Amazon 163.54. Damn, I'm surprised my card still works. Motherfucker smoking. You recording me?
Is there any other concerns that you have?
No, I just damn.
You let me take a picture of your credit card. What were you expecting?
146, 163. It still works.
Oh, it works.
Here we go.
And there's more coming.
Here we go.
Can you please remove your jacket from my studio door? Thank you. I don't think those are all the transactions, but
No fucking going into debt. We're gonna be living in our fucking door.
That entire interaction is pretty messed up because here is a man bringing concerns and stress over finances because she is overspending on Amazon. And her response is to diminish those concerns and then to make fun of him and make a video, then posting it on TikTok. Are you kidding me? Because that will definitely make that man feel alone in this relationship. He is not going to feel like it's a partnership. He's going to feel like this is a problem that he just has to figure out and that she is not willing to change her behavior or even talk about it in a serious way. Therefore, she is not admitting any fault, therefore not taking any accountability, therefore not planning on making any changes. And I bet you anything based on how this man reacted and how calm he was that this is not the first time. He has probably dealt with this time and time again, and he has just resolved to deal with it on his own. And that is what's pretty messed up.
Like, if you ask me, so many people get into a relationship hoping that they will make more money together and save way more, which is actually true. Like, if you work and then your wife is working, you will both make so much money. But like nowadays, the primarily reason for divorce being so high is that one of the partner is spending way much, or it's just like finance situation. Like, maybe your wife is not working or she lost a job, or maybe the husband doesn't make enough money and he lost his job or whatever. So it's just based on finance. Finance is the primary reason. And in my opinion, that divorce is also really high. Is one of the reasons, not like the only and absolute reason. This is one of the only, this is one of the reason that divorce being so high. You see what I'm saying? And look at this situation. The husband doesn't make like bank, like he's not like rich, and uh, he come up with one of the situation that he had, like his wife is spending too much, and the wife is just making fun of him and take a video and post it on TikTok. This is actually not gonna end good, but I don't want to see it. I don't want to see people getting divorced or like breaking up. I don't want to see it, but this is where things will end if this doesn't get fixed. You see what I'm saying? Like, you need to be compassionate. You need to take account what your partner is thinking. Maybe he's right, maybe he's wrong, but you need to actually sit down, talk, pay attention, and dialogue. Dialogue is a secret, in my opinion. But if there is no dialogue, if one make fun of the other, if one doesn't take in count what the other person think, how are you gonna accomplish anything in couple? Like, being a couple, how are you gonna do anything? The husband now maybe gonna think, oh, I'm alone in this situation. I'm alone in this relationship. I'm alone, like even at home in my mind. I can't talk about anything with my wife and everything. Like, this is horrible, bro. This is horrible. Being a couple and still feel alone. This is, I don't know, man. I really don't know. But in my opinion, I think dialogue is a secret. You need to dialogue. If there is no dialogue, I don't know where you're gonna land in the future, being in a relationship. I really don't know. I really don't know. So let me know what you think down below, guys. Okay, let's keep rolling.
If you kids can't live comfortably on $20 an hour, you have to be overspending. We got to break this down very quickly to give people perspective into the Gen Z's lives. If you make $20 an hour, that is $40,000 a year. After taxes, that is $2,750. The average one-bedroom apartment and utility is going to run you $2,000. You cannot do that making $20 an hour, so you're going to have to rent with a roommate for about $1,200, and that's being conservative. $500 a month for groceries, which is less than $150 a week. $300 for a student loan payment, which is below average. $300 for a car payment, which is below average. $150 for car insurance, $150 for gas, $100 for personal care, $50 for a cell phone is $2,750. That is paycheck to paycheck, leaving you with nothing. Nothing for savings, investments, the big one, health insurance, because I'm assuming they're under 26 years old, and zero fun. Now, if they were to make $30 an hour, that's $60,000 a year. That's $3,900 after taxes. Maybe they decide to get their own place for $2,000 and everything else stays the same. They're left with $350 a month, which is essentially still paycheck to paycheck. This is the cost of living in America.
This is really, really nuts, bro. Like, you can make a $20 an hour. You cannot really rent and live alone. Like, that's a fact. And I guess everybody knows it. You absolutely need more money. And at $30 an hour, then you can maybe have a roommate being able to save more money. But at the same time, bro, what I would say is that look at what you can control. If you have a job, don't rely only on that job. Maybe get another job too. Maybe do some Uber in the weekend, because you cannot just have that primarily income and then just stay like that. No, during the weekend you can do some Uber and then get a little bit of money, so that you're gonna save, because whatever you're gonna save on groceries or or any other utility bills, or you cut off maybe all utility bill that you can cut off, and then you stay with the most essential. You see what I'm saying? But even if you can do that and save on a $25 per hour, and you can save, like, let's say $500 every month, that's big. That's huge. In my opinion, that's huge. And then you dump all that your toward your college payment, so that you get rid of all your debt. This is my opinion. This is the way to go. Like, don't only rely on only one job. If you rely on only one job, you're really going to be paycheck to paycheck and have your, I guess, weekend free. This is, if that's what you want, yeah, you can have it for sure. But in my opinion, you really need more than one job. Really need more than one if you want to actually break free and like have a lot of, like, being debt free. If that's what you want, you need more than one job. That's my opinion, y'all.
Y'all, the obsession to look rich is so American.
I have never clicked stitch on a video so fast in my life. So I think it's really important to be very transparent and open about money. So most of my friends and family know exactly how much I make. And I'd say at least 50% of the time when people see my car, their first question is, why haven't you gotten a new one yet? And don't get me wrong, I'm all about spending money on things that you enjoy and that align with you. And for me, that is not my car. I drive a used 2016 Honda with 130,000 miles, which means it probably has a good 70,000 miles left on it. And the original creator is so correct in that this is an American thing to want to look wealthy, because why is the automatic assumption that the first thing I should do is go out and buy a new car? And this is honestly so much more about the mindset around money as opposed to your income level, because even if you're a high earner, if you're immediately spending everything that you earn and you don't have a healthy relationship with money, it doesn't matter that you're a high earner.
And also, like, just so you know, there are people in America who goes in debt just to look rich. Just to look rich, they go in debt. You see what I'm saying? Like, we already go in debt for like college, you know what I'm saying? But just to go in debt to like have the fancy car, the fancy clothes, the fancy house or whatever. But bro, at some point it's crazy. Like, you got to cut off. Even if you make that much money and you spend a lot of money, it doesn't matter whether you make $100,000 or you make the average, which is like what, $50,000 or like between $45,000 to $50,000. It doesn't matter. Absolutely doesn't matter. Like, you have to cut off. You have to save more money. and trying to invest, trying to save, trying to pay down your debt and whatever. You see what I'm saying? Because it doesn't matter.
I just want to spend money. I just really want to spend so much money on beautiful, wonderful, magical things. Like high-heeled boots and crocodile bags. Not real, of course, but
If you guys want to actually figure out why so many people are in debt that much, like whenever you find out, oh, your friend or like someone that you know has like 30 or $50,000 in credit card debt, bro. That's nuts, by the way. And whenever you look at it, it will be emotional spending. Always and always will be. This emotional spending. Like you go to a store, you see like new shoes or whatever, and you see like maybe a new clothes, or why not get it? Why not? You see what I'm saying? This is how it is, and this is how it always will be. And people don't understand the very difference between the needs and the wants. What you need is what you absolutely should have in order to survive. But what you want is that you can survive without it, but you would like to have it. This is the difference. You can't survive without it. And in this moment that you need to pay down your debt, because one of the two things that hold people back is rent, whether rent is too high, and it's also debt, like whatever you have to pay down every single month. You see what I'm saying? Those two things. And as soon as you pay it off, the one of the two things that like will hold you back, which is the debt and the interest on top of it, bro, which is so crazy. Whenever you pay down those the debt, then you can go about the rent very, very much. You can upgrade your rent if you ever need to, like if you upgrade your salary, but I would not recommend it. But you can go about doing that. You see what I'm saying?
So I thought that as soon as I was in my 20s and had disposable income, that I would be buying myself all designer things that I wanted when I was younger. Like, oh, I can't wait until I'm 25 and 26 and I could buy myself a Chanel bag and clothes, etc. No, that didn't happen. What actually happened is this month I bought myself a carpet cleaner, a rice cooker, and an air purifier. And I named the air purifier Walter. And I check the app like twice a day to see how he's doing.
These are the things I will no longer be spending money on. I recently made a new goal for myself that I want to get better with my money. Not that I would say I have like a big issue with spending. I don't have any debt either. It's more so that I just feel for as much as I work, I should see my finances and my savings in a better place. Number one, getting my nails done professionally. In brackets, when there's no special occasion. I don't like my natural nails. I'll be straight up honest with you. Like, they're little babies. I was the type of person that consistently got my nails done every 2-3 weeks. I had that appointment. I went for my refill. I looked forward to it and I got it done. And that was all fine and dandy back when it cost like $40-50 for a refill or a full set. And now that's just not the case. The last time I went to the nail salon, I think I spent after tip like $100. And I left feeling like, oh my God, that's half of my insurance for my car being spent on my nails. So actually, for the price of 2 nail appointments, I bought all the equipment to do my nails from home. I got the lamp, I got a couple of my go-to gel polish shades, and I've just decided that I'm going to start doing my gel polish at home. Number 2, cheap clothes. This is something that I've actually been serious about for a couple years now. Like, I just hate, number one, first and foremost, how cheap clothes look so much more unflattering on you compared to better quality clothing with better materials. The amount of money I've already saved just by looking at material composition before buying a piece of clothing has been game changer. Like, I don't care if you think you're getting a good deal because this is a $20 sweater compared to, I don't know, one that's $70, $80, even $100. Guess what? After a few washes, it's gonna look horrible. Next season, you're not even going to be able to wear it, and you're going to have to buy like 3, 4, 5, 6 more of those $20 sweaters. And guess what? If you would have just got the $100 one that's made of 100% cotton or 100% cashmere, wool, whatever, you wouldn't have had to buy that so many times. And you're actually saving more money in the long run. Next is food delivery services of any kind. This is actually really tough for me, especially when I'm in the office, because it's just so much easier to do Uber Eats or skip the dishes or whatever. But my mentality now is if I want that food bad enough, I'm gonna have to get into my car or get on the heel toe express and walk to the store, walk to the restaurant and get it. And if I'm too lazy to do that, then I'm not spending money on it. And also, the food is never even good quality, especially if it's something that's supposed to be served hot. By the time it gets to you, it doesn't even taste that good, yet you spent like double the amount. This one is probably the hardest one for me, and it's related to like skincare, makeup, hair products. I am not allowing myself to buy a new hair product unless the one that I'm using currently is completely finished. Like I can't squeeze anything else out of that bottle. I recently did a clean out of my bathroom and I got rid of all of the products that I don't use. And I was astounded at how many almost full bottles of products I was throwing out. And I had to throw them out because by that point I've had them for years and they're like most definitely expired. And I have sensitive skin. I shouldn't be putting that on my body. And I just realized like that actually costs money. Like it was probably from Sephora, probably cost so much. I tried it a few times, didn't like it enough and just didn't reach for it. So now I'm just going to stick to what I know works for me. And if I want to try something new, I'm going to get a sample of it, maybe a few samples to try it multiple times. And if I like it enough, I have to wait until my current product is done. And then when I'm replacing it, I'll try that one that I wanted. Those are all of the things I can think of right now, but I'm sure more will come up. So let me know if you want a part 2.
Things are changing, yo. Things are very, very much changing. Like whenever you look at like people when they were in the teenage years and they wanted like a Chanel bag or like this bag, that bag, these shoes, that shoes, and the mom was saying, "Yo, I cannot afford it. I'm not gonna pay for that." Like wait until you turn 25 and you're gonna be alone, paying for your rent and all that, and then you're gonna pay all that for yourself. Now that they are that age and they live alone, they're saying, "Yo, I'm not paying. Nah. Ain't no way I'm gonna pay that anymore." So they absolutely changed their mind, which is absolutely crazy to think about and actually very refreshing. You see what I'm saying? Very, very, very much refreshing. I like it.
We are in a depression right now, but the only reason it's not called that is because the wealthy people are wealthier than they've ever been. It's not a depression for the rich people are doing great. During the Great Depression, the average cost of a home was about $4,900, which today is equivalent to about $90,000. It was around 3 times the average person's wages. Today, in 2026, the average cost of a home is around $410K, which is about 8 times the average person's wages. This is not accidental, this is not just inflation, this is deliberate overpricing by wealthy people so that they could get extra profit into their pocket. And you know what? That's working really well for them because back in 1985, I think there were only about 9 billionaires in the US, and now there are over 1,000. And we're even on track to have our first trillionaire. Can you imagine such an unfathomable amount of wealth? The thing is, you can't. Just how unimaginable is that? Let's put it this way. If you counted one number per second, it would take you about 31 years to count to a billion if you were counting nonstop. To count to a trillion, it would take you 31,000 years. Meanwhile, the average American makes $66K a year. 1 in 4 Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and it costs about $159K a year to live comfortably. Believe me, we are in a depression, but it's not called that because we don't control the narrative.
How are people affording life right now? How are people tackling this cost of living?
Personally, I'm not. I had to move out of San Diego. I'm from Southern California, but it's too expensive. Even with full-time work, I had 2 full-time jobs, working on the weekends and at night and in the morning. I still couldn't save up enough money for a deposit for a studio apartment or anything, frankly. So I had to make a change. Right there is the border wall with Mexico and the United States. One side is San Diego, one side is Tijuana. Now I live on the Tijuana side. While the difference is only 2 blocks, I have a substantially cheaper cost of living. Currently, I'm renting a studio apartment for about $100 a week. I've seen comparable priced places going as far as a 2-bedroom with the same price point, $400 or $500 a month. The same kind of place in San Diego, 2 blocks away, would cost you upwards of $1,500 to $2,000 or $3,000. To go to work, I cross the border in the morning. A few times a week, I do Amazon flex shifts, and in about 2 full-time days, I pay my rent for the month. The thing is, I don't go every day because it's kind of a headache. So while I technically earn less, I have a greater purchasing power effectively. So 5 months ago, basically, I moved to Tijuana and went from being full-time employed with 2 jobs, living in my van for years because I couldn't save the deposit, to having an apartment and having transportation and a pretty decent paying job relative to my cost of living. But isn't it dangerous? Isn't it unsafe? A little bit, it can be. But literally, as I'm saying that, the police roll by. There's constantly a presence, so it does feel a little bit safe for that reason. Living in your car is not safe either. Being in your car is you're harassed all the time. You're bothered by strangers trying to steal your stuff. That's not a good life either. So while it's not a perfect solution, it's a solution for now, and it works, and I've improved my quality of life by moving 2 blocks. Follow for more about the cost of living in Mexico.
Honestly, why are people even getting degrees and going into debt nowadays when we can't even get the most basic level jobs? I just saw this TikTok and it was like, do you need a master's degree to be a receptionist because no one's hiring? Because nowadays people will apply to the most mundane jobs, if not with a master's degree, and still get denied because you're not what they're looking for. You're telling me I can't answer a fucking phone? People always ask why I went to law school, and it's like the job market is so ass, bro. I applied to so many jobs.